All right, let me check the audio here. We're just getting started. I was gonna go on a couple minutes earlier, but just some real life got in the way. But let's get into it here. Just want to make sure we're streaming okay. Looks like the audio levels should be good. All right, let me check the audio here. We're just getting started. All right. That sounds okay. So let's jump right into it. We have a tornado watch. This is in effect until 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Central Time. A few tornadoes, a couple intense ones are possible. Scattered large hail, isolated very large hail, up to 2.5 inches in diameter are possible. And then scattered wind damage, and that goes up to 70 mile an hour possible. This is all behind the MCS complex that occurred overnight. So if you got strong weather in Indiana and Ohio this morning, this is totally separate from that. Essentially, it's the weather this morning doesn't clear you out, and in fact, there's an area here basically where the tornado watch is right now in Illinois, Indiana, extreme southern Wisconsin, and southwest Michigan, where the atmosphere is destabilizing pretty quickly behind the showers and storms that moved through early this morning. Cincinnati area actually had a severe thunderstorm. There were a couple severe thunderstorms this morning. That, whatever is left of okay, should be good. Internet's been a little glitchy since the storms came through here yesterday, so we may have a couple brief pauses in my talking, but yeah, 60 mile an hour and quarter size hail, severe thunderstorm here in the Piedmont northwest of Greensboro, Winston-Salem. So there may be a couple other isolated severe storms east of the Appalachians, but primarily we're focused here on the Midwest, and there's actually two things that have developed. There's a bit of a line segment here that's pushed its way through northwest Illinois and into now the Milwaukee area. It's approaching the lakeshore with some damaging winds. Some hail is possible in those storms, but mostly small hail. Damaging winds is the primary threat with those storms. They're going to quickly push through Milwaukee and Kenosha and out over Lake Michigan. And then our tornado watch, a lot of this from Lake Michigan south, may be a little more on the isolated side. We have two big storms that are over Lake Michigan right now. We have two big storms that are over Lake Michigan right now, and one of them is kind of grazing the shore here and actually has a tornado warning for Michigan City, Indiana. So we're going to get into this storm here and then get a little bit of a closer tour at all the storms, but I want to get to our tornado warning storm here first. Okay, that should be okay. Getting a little bit of a stream issue here, but um, and that was my fault. I was actually not talking on the mic, but the camera from the top camera, that's from Merrillville, Indiana. That's looking out towards the lake shore from I-65 at Gary. And then we have another camera from Bowling Green, Ohio. That's our camera that we used last time in the storms a few weeks ago. It rotates between looking at Main Street, uh, NBG, and the exit there, and then I-75. So that one will kind of rotate through. You might see a couple different views. The Merrillville camera looking out towards Lake Erie was really cool. You could see the shelf cloud a few minutes ago. So that was a pretty interesting view, and we may get a few more views like that out of the Merrillville. All right, the tornado warning in Michigan City, that has actually just been advanced over here to areas here just east of Michigan City. That's Springfield, Indiana, New Buffalo, Michigan, Bridgman, Michigan, Buchanan, Michigan, just north of Niles, Michigan. This is the state line right here between Indiana and Michigan. And this supercell is coming ashore here near New Buffalo. So you can see it has a pretty nice structure on it. It's got the outflow, flare, and then it's got a little hook that's just coming on shore here near New Buffalo, right on the state line. And it has some rotation in here as well. We can it may have actually produced a water spout. I would not okay. Let me all right. Well, I got a little bit of internet here. We had internet problems yesterday with some storms that moved through. So what I'm gonna do is, because this is getting a little bit frustrating here, the stream and the internet actually keeps cutting out. I'm gonna go reset the internet. That may break this stream, and in which case we'll just restart it here. But essentially, this is consider this a little bit of an overview. There's a new tornado warning. This is ping pong ball size hail, and a tornado warning here for Terre Haute, Indiana, coming up towards Brazil. So if you're in this area near Terre Haute, Sealyville, Brazil, and Center Point, and along I-70 here in western Indiana, I need to take this cell pretty seriously. Just looking at the rotation on it. It's got an area of rotation here just on the southwest side of Terre Haute, and pretty much riding along 70 here. So this is a really dangerous storm. Anyway, as I was saying, the stream may end here. I'm going to go reset the internet real quick. With the storms we had yesterday, the internet's been a little sketchy today. So I'm going to go reset the stream and the internet, and then consider this kind of the preview of today. Hopefully we can get the internet working, and then go from there. So right now, 2 tornado warnings, and we'll see you guys back here in just a couple minutes. Okay. I think I got it solved. Hopefully. Let me double check my audio here real quick, and then we should be good to go. Okay. I think that's gonna work. Okay. That should work. Okay. Had to mess around with a few settings, but I think we're in a better spot now. So hopefully, moment. The one is here in southern Michigan, southwest Michigan. It's now moving over towards Penn and south here of Paw Paw, Michigan. It's now southeast of Benton Harbor. But again, we can see this here. It actually does have some pretty good rotation on it here. Near Michigan 140. This is now east of Route 31. Moving pretty quickly to the northeast here. I want to look at this a little bit more here. So there is your rotation. So there's your inflow and outflow. And I want to see if there's any CC drop showing up on this one. Not showing up at the moment, but this is the supercell that came ashore here on Lake Michigan. Right now, it's being warned for a storm capable of producing a tornado over Berrien Springs, Michigan, or 8 miles north of Buchanan. That's moving northeast at 40. Actually pretty close to 94 here in a little bit. Indian Lake, about 2 minutes or less. Maple Island, about 8 or 9 minutes. Keeler, 14 minutes. Glenwood, 15 minutes. And Pittsburgh, 20 minutes here in Michigan. Let's see. Decatur, 22 minutes. And Nicholsville, about 25. So, pretty nasty storm. It's got a good hail core in it here. We have a pretty strong hail core along M140 and M54. If this keeps in that direction, it's going to head towards Paw Paw. And also, this is a very heavily traveled I-94 corridor between Chicago and the Detroit Metro and the Canadian border. So that is not a good situation here that the storm's headed up into a really well-traveled area. Okay. I think we're going to stop the stream here and try and reconnect the internet again. This is getting really, really frustrating. Very quick, near Elkhart, I want to see if this has a... So this does have a bit of a couplet here along I-90, right along the Michigan and Indiana border. So this is one to watch here, as right now it's not severe warned. It has a special weather statement for it, but there is a bit of a area of rotation here, and you can see it's got a nice little hook on it. It's going to continue sliding along the Michigan-Indiana border towards Constantine and White Pigeon. So we have two pretty strong storms here. This one is probably close to producing a tornado around the Dowagiac, Michigan area here. See, it's got a pretty good hook on it. And we can check and see if it has it. I might have to wait till we restart the stream here. There is a couple couplets. There are a couple lower values in there. So that could be something. That could be something pretty quickly here. If it's not on the ground yet. Right now, just radar indicated. But that is pretty close to producing a tornado, likely. I want to quickly go down to the area here near Terre Haute and Brazil. Storm doesn't look quite as strong as it did earlier. Still has a little bit of broad rotation. It looks like it's going to be replaced with a tornado possible and ping pong ball sized hail. This is riding along I-70, so a dangerous storm here if you're traveling I-70 between Terre Haute and Indianapolis. And also the counties here in extreme southeast Michigan. So that's Adrian, Monroe. I think Hillsdale's out here. Yeah, Hillsdale, Adrian, and Monroe. Milan. And then areas here up towards Lansing, Allendale. I think you guys already had a tornado watch. No, I think that was added. So, yeah, actually quite a bit of lower Michigan was added here. This is going to get an extension here. This tornado warning for the storm that's near Dowagiac, coming up towards Paw Paw and Alameda. Okay, well, apparently it looks like the internet started to work again, so we're just going to go with it. The next time the internet breaks, I'm probably just going to stop the stream and then restart it. So if I disappear, that's why. But since we have... Okay. Let's keep going with that. I switched a little bit of the settings around. So we'll see if we can game the internet a little bit. And even if the connection is not great, if I can change some of the encoder settings to get the stream through faster, then it should work. But this new tornado warning for Decatur, Keeler, Lawrence, Alameda, and Paw Paw, Michigan, we mentioned you guys earlier, have a pretty good hail core coming towards you. But this is a still a radar indicated tornado near Dowagiac, Vollinia, Michigan. But this is a pretty strong area of rotation right here along M54. Right here, just north of the downtown. This is the area that we're looking here. And our radar site is not that far away. So here we have pretty strong winds coming towards the radar. And then also pretty strong winds headed away from the radar. So your tornado likes to sit right in there. And that's where we see this couplet. Still not seeing any debris signature on the CC drop, so that's a good sign. But this one is very close to producing a tornado. It's got a really nice structure to it. The storm here, the body of the storm up in here. And then this appendage comes down, wraps around the inflow with some cool air on the outflow, and your tornado sits right in that little notch. Checking a little bit of our traffic cameras. See if we can get an update on the one. So this traffic camera is here along I-65 looking out towards the lake shore, so you can see some of those clouds here on the traffic cam out towards the lake shore. You can see the rain shadow there just off to the top right of the camera. That's looking out towards these storms that are just offshore. They may pose another threat as they get on shore later too. A couple of new severe thunderstorm warnings. This one replaces the tornado warning earlier. There's still rotation in here, so we're going to have to watch this one pretty closely. So there is a little rotation in here. Right between Greencastle and Cloverdale. This is also general lifting up towards the Indianapolis area, so rush hour, and also the airport is over here, right near the radar site, so this is going to affect air traffic and then also rush hour, so that's not great as this storm lifts over towards the areas here, Greencastle and Cloverdale, towards Plainfield, Danville, and eventually, if it holds together, into Indianapolis. There's a new warning here between Indianapolis and Lafayette, near the Frankfort, Indiana, Michigan town. So right now they're special marine warned section, but these pretty strong storms that were in Milwaukee earlier are now about halfway across Lake Michigan. That could pose a threat for this area here between Holland, Grand Rapids, and Muskegon, Michigan, as those are moving east, essentially straight across Lake Michigan. Yeah, so that could be an issue here in about an hour or so. I'm sure there's going to be a pretty cool view of a shelf cloud looking out across the lake there. And there could be some embedded spin-ups in here, so wouldn't be surprised if there's a water spout. See what it's being warned for. It's being warned for wind gust up to 50 knots and large hail. But especially that area along the comma head of this circulation here sometimes has its own little vorticity. Still watching this area here. I'm surprised it hasn't dropped the tornado yet. We haven't seen one on the CC drop at all, but there's your rotation in here. It's lifting up towards the Decatur, Michigan area. And it does look like it's observed now. Trying to get the best radar for it. I think this one actually has the better radar presentation. So here is your couplet. Yeah, that is a tornado on the ground here. Moving up towards Decatur, Michigan. So that is a pretty nasty storm here. Yeah, that is a tornado on the ground. So it's even got a little bit of a donut hole here. This area around Decatur is getting a pretty nasty thunderstorm at the moment. It's getting a lot of hail and winds right now, 45 miles an hour as a forward speed northeast. So let's out here north and east at 45. And that's going to be pretty quickly coming up towards the Decatur, Michigan area. So Decatur, 4 minutes or less, and then after that, Lawton, Michigan, in about 14 minutes. So this is a quickly intensifying situation here. Golf ball size hail. This is located pretty much just southeast of Decatur here. Confirmed tornado 7 miles southeast in County. That is a observed tornado on the ground here. And I want to see if it was radar confirmed or if it's been confirmed by a spotter. It really doesn't, but just wanted to see if that even gives it an additional layer that it's been confirmed by a spotter. Either way, it doesn't really matter. So this is coming up here south of Decatur, Michigan. There is your debris signature. We can take this back here and see when it popped up. I think it must have just been the last scan or two, because it was oh, you know what? It looks like it popped up the scan after we looked at it last. So when I said it looked like it was pretty close to producing a tornado, it was pretty close to producing a tornado. So this next scan, there's your debris signature, your CC drop, and that continues here. And actually growing a little bit. It's also lifting a little bit north. So definitely if you're in the Decatur area, you need to really take this seriously. This is along M51, Glenwood, Michigan, up to Decatur. And then northeast of there, Lawton is your next town in line. This should slide south of Lawrence, and it's definitely east of Keeler right now. But it should... So hopefully this is going to split the difference here between Decatur and Nicholsville. But either way, this is a decently populated area. This is a bit more populated than a few areas that we saw tornadoes in yesterday, in Oklahoma and Kansas and Missouri and stuff. So this is an observed ongoing tornado. You can see the CC drop here. This is showing some big hail in the Decatur area. So this is not good either. Damaging hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds can also pose a threat to property, but also injuries and things. So this is all lifting up towards Lawton, Michigan as well. And your rotation and the debris signature here by the CC drop is just to the south of that. So we're quickly right there through the CC drop. So if you haven't seen the stream before, I usually explain it at least once or twice a stream, but essentially this shows us the meteorological targets versus non-meteorological targets. Raindrops are all pretty much the same size. So this shows us in the pinks and even oranges, this shows us, you know, everything is pretty much the same size. It correlates to each other. But then when we start seeing blues and blacks and greens and things, that shows us that there's less of a correlation with each other. It shows us that there's different sizes of things. There's leaves, twigs, debris, and that's all being wafted up through the rotation of the tornado. So that's how this is a pretty helpful tool in seeing if there's a tornado ongoing, especially when it's a decent, you know, mileage away from the radar. If it's too far from the radar, then sometimes a tornado can be lifting debris underneath where we're scanning the storm. But if we're within a specific, you know, mileage when there's a damaging tornado on the ground, and certainly the closer to the radar site, you know, the lower we're scanning, so that gives us even more confidence. But it can also show things like the here near Decatur. It can show us where there's large hail, because large hail can be a bunch of different sizes as well. And we can also see that in the reflectivity. These purples and pinks are indicating some of that larger hail, and that actually correlates with a really strong CC drop right there. So this is some really big hail here sliding through the Decatur area. Tornado still looks like it's sitting south of Decatur, so this is going to miss. Yeah, so damaging tornado still on the ground. It may be starting to lift. Let's the CC looks a little more ragged, and it looks like it well, could still be in here. The CC definitely isn't as deep as it was a few minutes ago, so yeah, so if you live between Decatur, Michigan, and Nicholsville, Michigan, this is a tornado on the ground near 669. This has now come across the areas here around Glenwood, Michigan as well. I'm trying to see, there's not much up in here, but there are people that live up here. 669 and 92nd Avenue. If you live down in that part of Van Buren County, that's where, if it's still on the ground, it would be up in there. We're also seeing some pretty high winds here. Yeah, those are some pretty strong inbound winds. I want to go to the storm to the south. It's the one that I mentioned a long time ago when it was over near the Elkhart area. But it is also rotating ping pong ball sized hail, and now has a tornado warning on that storm. This is in the area here near Centerville and Three Rivers and Nattawa, Michigan. Yeah, I think we highlighted it right when it was on the Michigan and Indiana border and mentioned about White Pigeon and Constantine. So hopefully people took their safe space there. But yeah, this is it's intensified a bit. So it's been a bit of a messy intensification, but rotation is up here near Centerville. Don't see a debris signature on this one. Also have to watch the little mini cell that's behind this. It has a little hook on it. Not showing a lot of rotation on that part of the storm. Yeah, these are our only tornado warned storms at the moment. Again, one is an observed tornado near Decatur, Michigan. The other one is radar indicated. This is sliding more northeast, so this is an issue more for the areas around Three Rivers, Cologne, Leonidas, and the Tawa versus the areas here down by Sturgis. Sturgis, this should slide to the north of you guys, but if you're already in your tornado safe space, stay there for a few minutes. You got some pretty gusty winds and lightning headed your way. There's also this little storm on the back end. If it slides a little further south, it could be a little bit of an issue. Again, not seeing a lot of rotation on it yet, but it has a little bit of that look to it. So yeah, it's in a similar environment. It looks like it's trying to wrap itself up here. So in this area here near Centerville, it's going to be coming up towards the Leonidas, Ottawa, Cologne. It's riding more along the northern side of the tornado watch or the tornado warning. This so this is a very large warning. It covers Alamo, Alameda, Paw Paw, the entire Kalamazoo area, Portage, Michigan, and a pretty well-traveled area here along 94 between Paw Paw, Kalamazoo, Galesburg, Michigan, and also 131. It's an interesting warning. Let me just say that. I doubt that the storm is gonna turn towards Alamo, but let me I just want to look at the storm behind it. There is a little rotation in the storm behind it. So if you're in this warning, let's all get to our safe space here. But if that storm became tornado warned, that would be an issue more towards Alamo and even the Kalamazoo area. The storm that we're kind of tracking here that had the tornado on it, that is now here crossing M40 south of Paw Paw. This is moving again northeast at 45, so it's going to affect areas like Portage, Vicksburg, and Schoolcraft, Michigan, and north side of Flower Field, Michigan. The that's more of the tornadic rotation. Kalamazoo area and Parchment, that's going to be more in line for this hail core that's coming your way. So you still want to be in your safe space, especially for wind-driven hail. That can also pose a threat. So lowest level, into your room, doors and windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And certainly down here, Schoolcraft, Vicksburg, Portage, you guys definitely want to get to your tornado safe space. If you have a basement or storm shelter, that is even better. So this is lifted at least for a minute, but it may try and put down another tornado between M40 and Highway 131. And certainly it has some damaging winds in it too. So there is 70, 80 mile an hour inbound winds here into the storm. So it's trying. It's trying pretty good. I want to take a look at these two storms here. This area right around Centerville still has the rotation, and then also just going to keep our eye on the storm. Yeah, the rotation is picking up a little bit on that southern storm. So that is an interesting little feature there. But this area here is pretty close to producing a tornado. Although the area of the largest issue is in still kind of in the clear air. The circulation hasn't really got itself together yet, unless the reflectivity may be dragging a step behind. Let's see. There might be a scan difference here between those two. Either way, this is coming up here near Centerville, West by Nowata, Fairfax, Cologne, Leonidas, Mendon, Michigan, and north of Findlay, Michigan. Two-inch hail is also possible with this storm. There may be something in this last scan. Again, the reflectivity may be dragging back a second, but I think the CC shows that there's something kind of in that area there. This could be a CC drop right in this area here near Waspi. That is moving up towards. Yeah, that is a suspicious CC drop there. Would not be shocked if this is on the ground here near Waspi. Maybe the tornado right in this area here. It kind of checks out, even though the presentation is a bit messy. Want to go to this area here, coming across the Schoolcraft, Michigan area. So now we're not seeing that CC drop in here. So it'd be in here. That's a good sign that this is lifted for a little bit here. But still some pretty strong rotation showing up, especially at the upper levels where this radar is shooting. So this is quickly coming across near Portage, Schoolcraft, Vicksburg, Michigan. And then the area that has the hail core that I mentioned, that is lime-sized hail, 2-inch into, treat it like it's a tornado warning. And hopefully, we already talked to them about that, but Mendon, Leonidas, Parkville, you guys all need to treat this like it's a tornado warning. Athens or Athens, Michigan, that's coming up towards you. You guys need to be in your safe space, away from doors and windows, lowest level into your room, because if you have wind-driven lime-sized hail, so just think of how, big a lime is, and you have that getting thrown through your windows, that can easily cause windows, lowest level into your room. And then also here down near Waspi, still have the ongoing circulation. Let's see if this radar, we're kind of between two radar sites, so it shows it a little differently. There's still some messy CC in there. Let's see if it's moved a little bit. And the hail core seems actually to be intensifying here. So this is an intensifying thunderstorm with a considerable threat coming up through Mendon and Leonidas, Michigan, with some lime-sized hail. So now the hook on this radar looks like it's over here. There's still some weird CC going on. So this may be on the ground near the Waspi area. This is also coming up towards Fairfax, Cologne, Leonidas, and also just out of the warning is Sherwood. I would start taking my tornado safe spaces here if I was in Sherwood. Mendon and Leonidas and Parkville, you guys need to be in the safe space for that destructive part of the severe thunderstorm. And then also, this is all headed up towards the Athens area, Athens, however you say that. Every state, it seems like, has a town name like that, and they call it either Athens or Athens. But Sherwood and A-Town, you guys need to start getting ready to go to your safe space. You're just outside of the warning. It's likely going to get extended in some form, either a tornado and or destructive severe thunderstorm warning. This seems to be wrapping itself up again near Portage, so I don't like the look of that. Not seeing it on CC, but this is quickly coming up towards the I-94 corridor. And if it holds together at 45, it's going to go along I-94 on the south side of Kalamazoo. So Portage, about 5 minutes. Pomeroy, 13 minutes. Pavilion Center, 13 minutes. East Comstock, 16 minutes. Cooks Mill, 17. And Galesburg, just outside of the warning area, is... Okay, I quickly want to go to the other tornado warning storm. This is here in central Indiana. We mentioned it had a little rotation near Michigan Town. And now that has developed a little further here towards Sharpsville, Goldsmith, Tipton, Indiana. This is headed over towards Port Isabel and Elwood, Indiana. So yeah, your rotation is right in here, just on the south side of Sharpsville. Not seeing a CC drop at the moment, so we're gonna quickly leave this storm. West Liberty, Sharpsville, Windfall, Jackson, Tipton, Curtisville. You guys all need to be in your safe space there. The weird CC drop that I was kind of questioning myself here near the Three Rivers storm has gone observed. So let's take a look at this. It's coming right over the Fairfax, Michigan area. Yeah, this is looks like it's right in here. Yep. That is a tornado and a CC drop. So another damaging tornado. This is coming across Fairfax, Michigan, Cologne, Michigan. We called you guys earlier. You need to be in your safe space. This is came across the Waspi area, and now it's going to come through this area here. Cologne, Fairfax. Honestly, Sherwood, time to start getting to your safe space. And south side, especially Leonidas. Leonidas need to be in your safe space a few different reasons. You got the hail core also coming your way. That is probably some verifying lime-sized hail just north of this tornado warned area. But another damaging tornado. This is let me get an update on moving east at 35. So it's moving east at 35. Cologne, about 4 minutes or less. Fairfax, it's going to be right there. And then Sherwood, about 12 minutes. So you guys all need to get to your safe space here. Get to your tornado safe space if you aren't already. This is quickly coming up here towards Leonidas, Cologne, Fairfax, and Sherwood. All right, just making sure we're getting that out to as many people as we can here. Sending out social media warnings too. So here's this storm. It actually really basically has a debris ball on it here. You can see this pretty strong signature here with the deeper purples and reds. That indicates a usually not where there's hail. So this is a pretty deep CC drop here between Cologne and Leonidas. This is generally headed towards Sherwood. So if you're out here, Sherwood, Michigan, you guys need to be taking your tornado safe spaces around Goodrich Lake, Blossom Lake, Dane Lake. Yeah, this is going to get extended out. Confirmed large and dangerous tornado located over Cologne or 13 miles north of Sturgis, moving northeast at 45. This is actually now a PDS tornado warning. So yeah, we now have a PDS tornado warning here in Michigan. This goes out towards, again, Athens, I'd be in your safe space. Athens, Girard, areas along US or I-69, Butler, South Butler, Girard, Hodunk, Sherwood, and anywhere in between here. What town is this? I don't see a town showing up here, like a name, but I see a bunch of street names here near St. Joseph and Broadway Street, whatever community that is maybe unnamed. You guys need to be in your safe space south of Burlington, south sides of Athens, and south side of Tecumseh. This is a damaging tornado. Bit of a debris ball showing up here near the Cologne area. And then Leonidas up to Athens. You guys need to be in your safe space for this damaging hail. Again, lime-sized hail, wind-driven hail. Really, if you're in this whole area, I would go in my tornado safe space. Athens, then Texana, Girard, obviously for the tornado warned storm, but you have a little larger area of issue. You have the tornado coming up through the areas near Girard, and then you have the large hail that's going to be moving north of that across those towns. That's a very dangerous looking storm. So, and then still have our ongoing tornado warned storm near Portage and Texas Corner. This is right along 131. And that looks like it's on the ground again. So that is another damaging tornado right near the Portage area and 131. This also has a considerable threat tag for the hail, but this is a tornado that's on the ground moving up through areas here, south sides of Kalamazoo. So again, I'm going to post this out, but A bit of a dangerous afternoon and evening here. Yeah, this is a damaging tornado. This is coming right into the Portage, Michigan, on the south side of Kalamazoo. Again, see you can see the CC has moved a little bit. Let's just get a track on this part of the storm here. So it just popped up right around the 131, and quickly within a scan became a damaging tornado here on the ground, and it's now lifting here towards right over the Portage area, Billion Center, East Comstock, downtown Kalamazoo. You guys all need to be in your safe space here. It looks like it might be lifting a little bit more north than east the last scan or so, but this is essentially riding along I-94. Once again, we have a damaging tornado on the ground here, right near Portage, Michigan. Sometimes this scan bar has a little mind of its own, but all right, we're going to bring it up at 45. It's in Portage right now. Lawndale, you got about 8 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes. Galesburg, about 10 minutes. And a little less than for Comstock, East Comstock. So once again, if you're just joining us, we have a damaging tornado on the ground here near in Portage, Michigan. It's right just south of I-94 and south side of Kalamazoo, Michigan here. Seeing a pretty tight couplet, and also then seeing the correlation coefficient, the drop in those CC values indicates debris is being lofted into the air. It crossed over US 131. It's now lifting up towards the southern suburbs of Kalamazoo here, Portage up to Millwood. Let's see what streets are in here. You live along Millam Avenue, Kilgore Road, Sprinkle Road, Romance Road Parkway. Right now, this is over Schaefer Road and Central Avenue, and also Schaefer, or what is that? West Edge Avenue and Romance Avenue. It's now moving here across Romance Avenue and Portage Road and Lovers Lane, and coming up here towards Millam Avenue, the I-94. This is a really well-traveled corridor, and it's now going to get another PDS tornado warning. So this covers Galesburg, Climax, Michigan, Kalamazoo, Augusta, Michigan, Vicksburg, and Schoolcraft. We have 2 PDS tornado warnings here. We have the ongoing tornado here. We have ongoing damaging tornadoes here. I-94 through Portage, Ramona Park, Pavilion Center, Cooks Mill. You guys all need to be in your tornado safe space here. Yeah, Portage, Ramona Park, Pavilion Center, Cooks Mill, East Comstock, Galesburg, up along I-94 here, and then over towards Climax, Michigan. There's Cooks Mill, there's Pavilion Center. This is going right along and south of I-94, just on the south side of Kalamazoo. So Kalamazoo, stay in your safe space here. At least at the... Yeah, it's here at East North Avenue, Kilgore Road, and Sprinkle Road. Lifting up here now a little closer to I-94 here. This is probably going to cross I-94 near Millwood and Sprinkle Road. South 26th Street, East ML Avenue, right here where AMVETS Memorial Highway meets I-94. If you live out here, East Comstock, Comberg. Looks like it's starting to lift. It's starting to pull a little bit more towards the north here. So hopefully you guys are in your tornado safe space here. And this is going to get a tornado emergency now for the storm here coming through Branch, Michigan. So this storm here now is a tornado emergency. Confirmed large and destructive tornado over Union City, 10 miles northwest of Coldwater, and now moving northeast at 45. This is a tornado emergency for Union City, Michigan. That must be the, I mentioned them earlier, the town here that looks like a town on the map, but it wasn't showing any names. So this is a tornado emergency right now for Union City, Michigan. Yeah, still have the ongoing debris. This is lifting a little more north, so Texana, you guys need to be in your tornado safe space. Burlington, I'd be in my tornado safe space. I mentioned you guys earlier, hopefully they've taken the warning there. And now we have another tornado emergency here. So this is lifting up along the edge of this warning. Burlington, you guys need to be in your tornado safe space. Texana, hopefully you're in your tornado safe space. And areas north and east of this area here, even up towards Homer. Yeah, this whole area is going to get a giant tornado warning. For an observed tornado, let me see which one they're actually talking about. Near Burlington or 9 coming up to Galesburg, Michigan. I want to quickly look at this cell here by Coldwater. It doesn't appear to be... Yeah, no. Does not appear to be tornadic at the moment. This cell near Coldwater, with rotation coming up actually towards the Coldwater area. But we have two damaging tornadoes. One with a tornado emergency and a PDS warning down here near Burlington and Texana. Gonna kind of generally head towards the Albion area. And then we also have our damaging tornado here near the southeast side of Kalamazoo and Galesburg. And if that storm holds together, it's going to be headed towards the Battle Creek, Michigan area. So that's why this whole area is under a PDS tornado warning. The storm that's further south, northwest Indiana near the Angola area, also now has a tornado warning. So that's going to be coming up Jamestown, Algonquin, Reading, Cambria. This is right where Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana all meet. So York, Indiana, Jamestown, Indiana, Angola, Indiana, and then up into Algonquin, Reading, and Cambria, Michigan. Right now, those are the only tornado warnings. They're all in Michigan. New tornado watch covers all of western Ohio, northern Kentucky around the Cincinnati area, Columbus, Mansfield, Lima, and I think I mentioned those cities earlier around Toledo. But right now, all the tornado warnings are here in west central Michigan and extreme northeast Indiana. There's also some rotation in the cell that's coming south of Benton Harbor, so that storm is going to be one to watch. I want to go north to south really quick, and okay, the Angola storm, it's kind of just starting to rotate. I don't see any. So the area around Coldwater is not showing a CC drop at the moment, but it could produce a tornado, and possibly as far north as Albion. And this is a confirmed large and still likely on the ground. This also has lime-sized hail. Right in this area here. Yeah. So it looks like it's still on the ground here, just straddling this area south of Burlington and coming over towards the Tekonsha area, Tekonsha, Michigan. Again, that's a PDS tornado warning there. We also have our observed considerable threat PDS tornado near Galesburg. Let's step back and see. The CC starts to look messy now, so let's see. So here, this storm, we found it when it was coming across 131. It's come through the Portage, Michigan area. It looks like there may still be a debris signature in here. Right in the area here along I-94 in Galesburg. The good news for this storm is the rotation is broadening, but let's just treat this like it's still on the ground. And as this holds together, it's coming through Galesburg and headed towards Battle Creek. For Kalamazoo and Parchment, you guys have just missed a large and damaging tornado. It came across kind of like this. So, came across 131, and then the Portage area lifted a little bit more towards the north, along the southeast side of Kalamazoo, and then it's now, looks like it's turned a little more east. So it's kind of following 90. And then I just want to check a few of these other storms here in Indiana right now. There is a new tornado warning in Indiana for Marion. So yeah, this is a tornado warning here for Fairmount, Michigan, Matthews, Michigan, and Gas City, Michigan, here along I-69. A bit broad at the moment, but that could put down a tornado. I want to check and see if it had a tighter signature just a few scans ago. I would guess when it got tornado warned, yeah, a couple scans ago. Bit of an internet glitch there. Sorry about that. Anyway, Fairmount, Gas City, Matthews, and Upland along I-69. You guys need to be in your tornado safe space. Still some rotation showing up near Fairmount, headed towards Gas City and Upland, Indiana. But I want to quickly go back up. There's also some severe storms likely popping up in other parts of central Indiana. There's a couple areas that are pretty suspicious looking that may warrant tornado warnings later. Different than yesterday, a lot of these storms have not lined out. They're very individual. So we're really going to have to... We have a number of storms with possible tornadoes here in Michigan. The one is in northwest Indiana. Let me just pull up the side by side. That way we can scan these a little easier. Okay, one is near Jamestown, Indiana, crossing the Indiana Toll Road. That's moving up generally towards Allegansee, Michigan, and Hillsdale, Michigan. The next cell is over the Coldwater area in I-69. That's moving generally from Coldwater up along US 12 towards Jonesville. We had our storm that earlier had a large tornado and a... Okay. Let's see. So then we have our other previously PDS tornado warned storm around Portage that dropped a large tornado that's approaching the Battle Creek, Michigan area. So we have a bunch of tornado warned storms in Michigan, essentially like this. And I want to see if any are showing CC drops at the moment. I don't see any CC drops at the moment, but they could easily produce more tornadoes here. This is lifting up towards Battle Creek, Marshall, Albion, Jonesville, Hillsdale, and eventually then towards Jackson, Michigan. What I'm going to do is the internet is still really bad right now. It's 6 Eastern and 5:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to take a quick break, reset the internet, and hopefully that will do it. We had storms here yesterday, and it really crapped out the internet. So I apologize for some of the glitchiness of the first stream here. But I was going to take a break, and then the internet seemed good for a minute, and then also with the tornado started popping off. Anyway, yeah, be in your tornado safe space here, Battle Creek down to Hillsdale, and we'll be right back here after I get the internet reset. Whole time I've lived here, I haven't had any internet issues, and then all of a sudden the storms and stuff last couple days